What is up, guys? I would like to give a huge shout out to all of you who have been sharing my Instagram videos and Facebook stuff and supporting me by going to the events. All you guys who have helped with the camera and the footage stuff. It means a lot more to me than you guys could even truly understand. I know I don't show it. I know I don't say it very often, but I really do appreciate all of you that help out, either with loading the truck, taking the videos, doing setup at these events with me, and helping out, putting your hands in, and making things a little bit smoother sometimes. Like I said, I really appreciate that. So first and foremost, huge shout out to you guys. Secondly, we were gonna make a nice video. Sam and Jen were doing a bunch of footage for us at the track, and I didn't really expect everything to go the way that it did. So let's just start with, we went to Pocono. We were super excited, or at least I was. Unfortunately, Austin's car wasn't ready. He's had a couple problems with setting up the ITV kit, so hopefully we can get that sorted out and get him on the road soon. He's really close, and he's been close for a while, and things have been happening, but I'm really excited for that for him. So make sure you guys comment, you show him some support. Anyways, Pocono, got there. Sam was like, yo, you want to set up the GoPros? And I was like, I kind of want to just get in line and kind of get situated and comfortable with this track. And never been there. It's a lot to take in. It's 3.5 miles for just one lap. So I got 10 laps in, but 35 miles in the car. You look at it that way. Like, it's kind of a lot of driving. There's a lot of turns, there's a lot of straights, there's a lot of speed, there's a lot of everything involved. There's elevation change, there's bumps all over the track. It was a whole new perspective to what I was ever used to. Like, Lime Rock is a very smooth, not crazy track. Granted, there are points in there where you need to be focused and pay attention and not, throw yourself to the wind. But that track compared to Pocono was a big wake-up call, in the fact that I really need a lot more seat time with the car. Reliable, nothing changed, everything staying the same, and just me progressing as a driver rather than me trying to force myself to learn some new car every single time, which is not helping anything. So I need to stop doing that, and I need this thing just to be reliable. Which brings us to where we are right now. Hood open, support bar up, all of that. The rear turbo, that was BMW genuine. It was a newer turbo. It was like a 1.5 years old. Somehow the front compressor wheel, the nut itself that holds everything together, backed off, and it launched itself all the way back through my turbo inlet filter, intake filter. I don't know how it got up this far, but it did. Literally right here. I have videos of Instagram of the turbo blowing up and me not able to find where the nut went, and I pulled this off while I pulled the rear inlet off, and I literally found it after I shook this a couple times by accident, because I was like, look, I got it out, and the nut was literally in there. So that's crazy to me that even happened. But at least we found the nut. That was super important. So reliability wise, we're changing some things up, and water pump and thermostat being one of them. I want to be able to run the JB4 and set it to max cool all the time. I want to have no problems with that. I bought a bunch of water wetter, so we're going to mix water and water wetter, and that's it, because at a lot of tracks they don't want you to use anything coolant wise. So for the most part, most classes and everything else allow this to be used, so I'm going to use this along with the new turbos, which I bought, which are OE, but they're not the BMW genuine. They're just Mitsubishi OE turbos that they manufacture them, they make them before they put all the stamping. Right there and right there, they just take a flappy disc and take off the markings for the BMW stamping, which they still have the barcode in the center. Hilarious. Why are you staying with stock turbos? Well, to be fair to me, this car is probably around 3,200 pounds, at least with the slicks on, because the slicks weigh way less than these gram lights and all that, and no interior and everything else, included. So having around 400 horsepower is more than enough than people expect it to be, right? So I want the car to be exactly the same from now on out, here on out. If I have to come back here and replace the turbos again, all right, fine, I got to do it again. But at least everything I'm putting in right now is all brand new. So that's going to be brand new. Our water pump thermostat's going to be brand new. I bought this kit yesterday. I don't need this, but my IATs were really hot. They got to like 152 on the straight, and that's in the territory of developing like some knock and X, Y, and Z, you know, turbos being not efficient. So I'm not going to run water methanol just yet. I'm going to turn this into some intercooler sprayers. It might not help that much, but it might help enough to keep the intake temps down. ARM has teamed up with us, and they sent us their relocation kit for the inlets. And also they sent me the outlets, and they're sending me the 7.5-inch intercooler as well. So with all of that put together, we're going to do some data analysis and find out, you know, if that kit will either change the IATs or if it's going to reduce the IATs with the bigger intercooler, which we already have a pretty big intercooler now. But with that intercooler, the outlets, and those shorter intakes, I think it'll drop the IATs a lot more than everybody probably will think. Because, I mean, this is the hottest side of the engine bay. Now, we have hood vents here on both sides to help get rid of some of that hot air. The ARM kit for the relocation has heat shields on it that go right between the turbos and the relocation elbows themselves. So it should help get rid of a lot of the heat and keep it down there, is the goal. But only time will tell. We'll have to actually get some actual data and see how different everything is. Now, probably the plan of attack would be to install just the inlets in their, you know, heat shield kit, and then add the relocation kit that I bought from ARM Motorsports because I like their, you know, expansion tank. I like how that looked. So we're going to put that over there, relocate everything else that's going to go onto that side. I did, for right now, delete the vacuum canisters. People do that, some people don't. I've heard it's okay, I've heard it makes things worse. We're just going to try it out, and I'm going to see if it makes a difference. If it doesn't, we're going to leave it just like this. Those are some pretty big changes, and I'm very excited to try it out. And we're going to get some road data just to see how they are, like on the highway, everything else like that. I also bought the ARM Motorsports hot side duct. That's supposed to go right here, and it feeds cold air to this side specifically, so that way I have the best chance to get all the cold air to this area. I'm more than halfway done. Everything's coming back together now. Like I said, I have the water pump, the thermostat in. I'm replacing all of the oil feed, oil return lines, all of that stuff, just so everything's brand new. I've wrapped our water return or water tube that's underneath there that goes around the turbos. I wrapped that with DEI tape just to try to keep all of the temperatures where they're supposed to be. Everything's going to be new. New OEM for the most part, back to the way that it originally was. We're probably going to have some more top end, which is fine. I also didn't realize after looking on the forums that these turbos were supposed to spool up way quicker than they were. And considering I never replaced the front turbo, it had 186,000 miles and had a ton of wastegate rattle, that probably wasn't helping anything. So Mr. JSR and I are probably going to have to do a little bit of revisions on the tune file for this. Which, shout out to him, because the car was running super great up until, you know, the turbo giving out, which isn't his fault. We're not running crazy boost. We're running safely 17.5 pounds or 17 pounds of boost at top peak. But, you know, it is what it is. Stuff happens. So we're here. Huge shout out to everybody at SCDA. All you guys, you know, that I talked to and met were awesome. You know, it's kind of great to like walk into a place like that, a new fresh guy, and not be like totally overwhelmed with everything going on. And, you know, people are there to chit chat with you and, you know, just give you the ropes. And it was great to meet a lot of you guys. So thank you for your support on that. Appreciate your time. I'm glad to meet a few of you. And yeah, so the goal is to get back and do a couple more SCDA events this year. Hopefully there will be an event at Lime Rock pretty soon. I would like to just test this out there and see if everything that I've done since the first time I went there this year has panned out great. It should. Everything is improved upon in the sense of, you know, the tune is the biggest part. I was fighting it going into lip mode every lap of that entire time. Sam can attest to that. It was not a good time. But I'm pretty excited. Very excited. And running slicks was very cool. Make sure you guys also take a peek at E9X Track Cars, the group on Facebook. Started that so that way everybody who's running this chassis, we can all give our input on stuff that help, things that didn't work, you know, everything like that. Otherwise, I'll see you in probably a weekend's time. We'll have more content on the install of everything. I'll show you how everything goes. We'll do our whole review of the kit, install of everything, you know, individually into certain videos, because I want to really focus on all of the stuff that they're sending us, because I really think it's going to make a huge difference, and I really think it's going to be pretty cool. Plus, there aren't many videos on that stuff anyways. Like, there's 2 videos that I saw online, and like none of them give like great sound comparisons and stuff like that. So I'm really excited about it, more than you guys can understand. I'm ecstatic. But thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.